Hi, and welcome at Your Guitar Workshop. In today's lesson, I'm hoping to give you a little bit more of an insight in how I look at scales, chords, and how I use my way of looking at things to better choose the things I play in my solos. So let's just give you an example, right? So for instance, here we have our A minor chord. Now, some of you might see that this is the root and that is an A. The thing is that I see a lot more than that. I see a root, I see the fifth, I see the root here again, I see the minor third, I see the fifth, and I see the root. Now, what this does is that because I know a little bit about music theory, I know where other intervals are with regards to these chords. So for instance, we talked about, not too long ago, about transforming the minor pentatonic scale into the Aeolian mode. Now I know that the Aeolian mode is the minor pentatonic scale plus the flat 6 and the major 9. Or the major second. Now the flat 6 is a half step above my fifth, right? So the cool part is that when I see this chord, I know I have my fifth here, and I know I have it there. So I know that my flat 6 is there, and there. So even if I don't know the minor pentatonic scale, I could still play right? I also know that the major 9 or the major second is a whole step above the root or a half step below the minor third. So if I don't use the minor pentatonic scale, but I just use those notes, then I can do this. So you got root, the 9's a whole step above, and when I combine the two, the major 9 and the flat 6, you get this. Now you might wonder why that is such a big deal. Well, the thing is that if you have the ability to choose which notes you play, that means that like a painter, you get to choose which colors you use. Of course you can use all the notes in the scale, but you don't have to. And I think this chord sounds different from this chord. Right? But they both use the notes from the same scale. This one is just minor add 9. And this one, it would be sort of minor flat 6 or F major 7 with A in the bass. But it's a different feel. But you have to know where these sounds are to be able to make that decision, right? So when I'm learning scales or when I'm learning to play over chords, I'm always aware what is what. So when I'm playing the fifth here, I know that my minor 7th is here. This is flat 6. This is your major 6, right? And it gives me the ability to choose to play certain sounds that if I don't know where things are, I wouldn't be able to. So for instance, a thing is to lead into your chord tones. So I'm playing a half step below from G sharp to A, and I do the same thing to the fifth and there. So I got and this is just using just using the notes of the chord Then if I combine that by playing, for instance, that major 9 or that minor 6 or major 6 above that chord tone, then I get these kinds of things. And this is all just done based on the chord that I have and knowing what the tone functions are within that chord. Now this is just one chord, but imagine if you would be able to see A minor here, you would see it sort of here, you would see it sort of there, you would see it there, basically using the cage system, although that would be an entire video on its own because I do use the cage system, but I use it a little bit differently. I believe Ray Beato has a really good video on that. But yeah, so this is how I use my knowledge of chords and where the notes are within those chords to be able to pick and choose the colors that I want to hear during my solos, instead of being like, I'm just going to use Dorian and that's it. It doesn't work that way. You want to be able to, if you're in Dorian, you want to be able to hit that major 6 the moment you want it. I hope this was helpful and hope to see you again sometime. Bye.